The transfer market is cooked. The transfer market is completely and utterly cooked. Oh my goodness. This transfer window has been one to remember for sure. Absolutely one to remember. And the thing that got me to go into to really go and realize this and put me over the edge is the fact that I was waking up these last couple of days. 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬 is going to Newcastle for 80 mil. 80 mil. And listen, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬, I'm not going to lie, I don't watch him play regularly in the Bundesliga. I don't know much about him. He's a great player, this, and the other. But I know a little bit about him. And I know enough to know that, if I'm not mistaken, 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬 wasn't even initially in Stuttgart's, Champions League roster. This guy wasn't even in Stuttgart's, first team like a year ago. And is now 80 mil. 80 million. 80 million euros for 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬. And I know, listen, guys, there's inflation. It said 80 mil used to get you a prime Gareth Bale. But even that, okay, 80 mil for half season, what? All of a sudden, now I'm seeing Newcastle are in for Fermin Lopez for 100 mil and are willing to quadruple his salary. Now, the salary, I don't know what he's on at Barcelona currently, but for me, it's the price tag. 100 mil for Fermin Lopez. And listen, has nothing to do, if it would, Fermin Lopez, he's a great player. But let's be honest, Fermin Lopez is not a guaranteed starter at Barca. You could argue it's between him and Dani Olmo, but he's not a guaranteed starter for Barca. You could argue potentially he's a sub, but he's maybe one of the first men up. Okay, still. But I'm sorry, when you're spending 100 mil on someone who's not even a guaranteed starter. Yeah, that's where I'm realizing. And then obviously, there's what happened previously with Hugo Ekitike going for nearly 100 mil. Florian Wirtz 150. That low-key is probably the most reasonable of all of them, because at least you can argue Florian Wirtz has been, excellent for 2-3 years. What was it also? A couple recently, it was Newcastle, because they're in search for a striker, so on and so forth, before getting 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬. They weren't for, I don't know, was it Norwegian or Scandinavian, I know, striker at Wolves. They offered 60 mil for the guy. 60, I'd never heard of him. 60 mil. Yeah, no. The transfer market, the transfer window is completely and utterly cooked. Cooked. And funnily enough, it's like, I'm going and seeing my club PSG. Who you could argue potentially started this whole thing off in getting Neymar for 220 mil, and Mbappe for 189. Guys, in today's market, those numbers, that's a steal. Guys, I'm seeing it today in big 2025. If you got, Neymar at the time, Mbappe at the time, a Neymar Mbappe, 220 mil for Neymar, 189 for Mbappe. That's a steal. That's a steal. The market, the way things are going now, is crazy. Because I'm not even going thinking like Désiré Doué the year before, even though I would argue I was about to say last year that we almost overpaid for Doué. Now it seems, a fair price, a great price. Barcola even paid 50 mil for him 2 years ago. That seems like a lot of money. Somebody who had 6 months and whatnot. But now we're talking about 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬, who basically had a similar thing as Bradley Barcola in terms of had a good 6 month span, was excellent, so on and so forth. And all of a sudden, this guy is worth 80 mil. Wesh. Goodness me. I mean, fortunately enough, you go and you look at it, a lot of this is Premier League teams. It's Premier League teams. And this is where I go and say the Super League is not even a bad idea. Because listen, if we have this, you go and you look, obviously your PSGs, your Real Madrids, these teams, they'll be able to somewhat keep up because of, the reputation, the size of the clubs. But I mean, we're seeing Barca, we're seeing the AC Milans, the Inters. They're not going to be able to match these teams forever. Wow. The Super League is the Premier League. And that's what we need to call it. The money is all there. All this is all about it. And, kudos to the Prem, all right? It's the most highest quality league. The product of it is amazing. It's a spectacle, all these things. But, no. That's why I'm saying the Super League low-key wouldn't even be a bad idea. Unless you basically forget a couple years from no. I'm truly at a loss for words. The thing that got me over the edge with these is 𝙎𝙊𝘾𝘼𝙎𝙬 and Fermin Lopez going for a combined 180 mil. Obviously, the Fermin Lopez one, it's not, it's a rumor. It's not, done and whatnot. But for me, like Chelsea going in, 50, that, okay, I could see, yeah, that's reasonable. 50, 60, yeah, okay. But then, like, I was hearing Barca fans saying, 70? I was like, okay, now you guys are being a bit crazy and whatnot. 70 is a bit, like, I don't think Fermin Lopez is truly unworthy. We're 70 mil. But now 100 mil, their 70 mil, it seems tame. Their 70 mil seems tame. Wesh. What has happened? And this is, again, nothing against Fermin Lopez or Nick Wolterman or any of these players. I just find it really, really interesting. Just how, because obviously initially when this whole thing has happened, when Neymar and whatnot, everything's were inflated. We had, Coutinho going to Barca for a lot of money, Dembele going to Barca for a lot of money, everybody moving for crazy amounts of money. But then things, cooled down a bit after COVID and whatnot. But it seems we're right back. And my question to you as I finish off this video is, how much longer do you think it's going to be until somebody goes and smashes Neymar's record? Completely smashes it. For reference, it was 222 million euros. His release clause at Barca, 220 million euros. Who is going to be the next club to beat that? And the thing is, at the time that you only think about it, PSG smashed the record, because I think Pogba went for 80, 90, roughly, we'll say close to, we'll round it up to 100 mil. PSG smashed it by over 100 mil. And then got Mbappe that same summer, but it was a loan with an obligation to buy for 189 mil. How long until either of those two are smashed? At this point, I think next transfer window will be done. Next transfer window, that thing is completely done. But I'd be curious to know what you guys think. And thank you guys very much for watching the video. And remember, stay safe, stay kind, and stay blessed. Godspeed.